Just wanted to show you this one more shot. When I considered it finished a few moments ago, or on yesterday's video, as it will turn out, this to me was very much a column of light connecting this and this. It was okay, but I really want the eye to focus on this area. So I wanted to spread it out and have that sort of feeling as though the light is sort of exploding from behind this hill. So I decided to extend some higher values here down along the edge and add a couple more shots, a couple of sort of lines to spread it around a little bit. It strengthens the foreground by having a drama of high value versus low value. And also just the design, I think, helps to, sort of, give the whole painting more flow, I suppose. Okay, on to the next project. Okay, I know the first part of this video was finishing yesterday's video, but I think just going to change gears a little bit for a moment. I brought some panels home for redistribution to another gallery. So I have them with me. It gives me a chance to revisit them and think, oh, what could I change? Is this good enough? I mean, every so often you revisit what you've done in the past, and sometimes you become overly critical. Sometimes you discover that you have not been critical enough of your own work. So what I have is a collection of, 7 wood panels. They're painted on untempered masonite. They are, I believe, all stained with burnt sienna. That's by far my favorite color to stain panels with. They're an 1/8 of an inch thick. It's just a nice surface to do a study on. It's pretty smooth. I used to only make wood panels, studies on plein air when I would go out of doors and put some quickly together, go out for a day, and you'd be very happy if you came back with one successful one. Sometimes you'd come back with 3. It's a great day out. Either way, that's kind of where I started with doing panels. It was something that my dad did a lot, and he showed me very clearly the benefits of doing it. He and I got to paint outdoors when I was quite a bit younger, before I was a painter. So I took to it well, and I've enjoyed it quite a bit. So what I'm going to show you are still studies. None of these are plein air. These are all ones that I've done in my studio, but I still like to do panels because I will come across a shape of a single tree, or have a thought, or have an idea, or the way the horizon works, or the way the light works, or some certain colors that I'd like to play with a little bit. A panel is your sort of, it's the safest way of doing things without risking too much damage. So you tend to be a little freer, or I tend to be a little freer when I'm making a panel, because again, if you make a mistake, it's not as big a mistake as if you do it on a large canvas. Anyway, I'm moving these around. I don't know if I'm going to send them all back out, but I just wanted to show you this group, and yeah, and I guess blither pointlessly for a few minutes about them. I'm going to zero in on each panel, and it'll be kind of a physical slideshow, and I'll chat a little bit about each painting. So this little 10 by 10 inch study, what I like about it are the strongest points are the shapes of these trees. I've allowed a lot of the wash in to show through in various areas. I'd probably have to really zoom in to show that to you, but let's not worry about that right now. I like the general rock structure. I like that the rocks look like they were made with quite assertive, bold strokes, which is what usually happens on a study. It's often hard to recapture that on a larger painting. I also like the type of sophistication that goes into water like this. Little flecks of colors all over the place. You know, it can become busy. And maybe if it were a large painting, this would be too weak to compete with this, because we have a very strong sky, very strong high chroma, distant hill, and bush here. But, again, as a study, I quite like it. And, yeah, okay, I guess that's really all I can say about it. It fulfilled its purpose, and I thought it was good enough to go to a gallery. And it will. Again, this is reminiscent of a couple of backyards we've had, actually. One of the places we lived in, Chilliwack, had old fruit trees in it. Now, this was not the scene. But I love how these old fruit trees, the tree trunks are beautiful. Like an old plum tree, for example, can have very dark bark. And you almost think the thing is rotting from without. In fact, that's how it's supposed to look, you know, from my point of view. And then, you know, it's funny because it's a bit wild, but it's actually quite a domestic scene. We have sort of not really wild colors here. We have some autumn colors, but they're almost floral in nature. So I think they set off well against these darker trunks. You know, really, the purpose of this 6 by 8 inch study is a design. You know, it's really more of a decorative piece. Okay, we have another 6 by 8 inch. This is one I think you saw this already. I think I had it on YouTube. I like this one. The main reason that I liked it was the nature of these trees. They almost look, well, you could anthropomorphize them easily enough. You know, they look like old men in gowns with their druid hats on, slowly wandering down the hill. There is some motion. I love how the sky worked out. It's a great compliment. I think it's quite likely, actually, that I'm going to give a little more content into this area before I move it on. I think I can improve that. And if I think I can, then I better give it a shot. That's another 6 by 8. This one is a few years back. You know what? The rest are 8 by 10, so I'll just stop right here and get the camera centered a little better. This is one that I have a little bit more of an emotional attachment to. My family and I spent, I guess, about 6 years living in the Caribou region of central British Columbia here in Canada. And on many occasions we've been through and visited the Nicola region and the Chilcotin area, actually. This idea comes from sort of a late spring in the high country. You know, you're looking at a plateau that, what would it be? Probably about 4,000 feet above sea level. So the snow is melting. You know, the rock masses have gained a bit of heat, and the snow's run off. What's remaining is still a fairly thick layer, but it becomes smooth. You know, every day the sun hits it, the top melts and everything gets a little bit smooth, and you start to get these interesting shadows across it. As a painting, technically, it's fine. I find it attractive. I like it. But does it convey how I feel about a scene like this to a viewer? That remains to be seen. I'm not always the best judge of my own paintings, that's for sure. I brought paintings to a gallery that I was a bit concerned about, and it was well loved. It was really loved by the employees at the gallery, or the manager, or the owner. And wow, when the gallery you bring the painting to loves the painting, believe me, that painting sells more quickly than if they're unsure. And there have been times when I've brought a painting that I thought was fantastic to a gallery, and it just sat there. It just wasn't. It wasn't the right person had not come along yet, and that's what you deal with. Okay, so I'm not sure what I'll do with that one yet. I think I'm going to send it on, but I might play with it. Here's another 8x10. I like this quite a bit. The rocky structure in the foreground holds its own. It's powerful. It sort of repeats the dance of the line following the trees. Everything about this painting, I just love it. I love the thing. So it's funny because I might even, well, I don't know, we'll see. I might even keep this one. Don't know yet what I'm going to do with it. This is a Northern Shore again, again it's kind of brings back memories of being on the Canadian Shield when I was a youngster, up in Rocky Lake and Limestone Lake more recently. That's in Manitoba, getting north. Oh, actually, sorry, Manitoba and Saskatchewan, again in Canada. And it could be a lot of places, I just, the painting for the painting's sake. The emotional attachment rests with the fact that I've been around so much of this landscape. I've even seen this living on the Gulf Islands, like just being out on the ocean in my boat. So, of the group I'm showing you, this is up there. Actually, the next two are as well. I'm gonna have to pick. I have to use a little self-discipline. I have to keep a few paintings back. I rarely keep my own paintings, but maybe they'll end up being a bit of a retirement fund or something. I love the shape of this tree, and I love the purple against the green, and the purple against the very toned down warmish yellow in the foreground. The lines in it work well for me, to my way of thinking, coming down and going down. That waterfall effect that I often go on about. Both of these trees have character. Again, it was like one that I showed you, a 6x8, a couple of paintings back, or a couple of studies back. They have personality. You could anthropomorphize those easily. They could be tired, old, weather-beaten trees that are, the prevailing wind is from the left to the right, and they've grown that way. And it's almost as though they're very slowly wanting to creep to the right. I mean, don't forget that actual forests do migrate. And they will migrate downwind from the prevailing wind, because they will drop their pine cones, or their leaves, or their seeds, blown by the wind downwind from them. So they naturally begin to move. If the wind's from the left, they will naturally, over hundreds of years, several trees or an entire forest will move in the direction of the lee side. Anyway, love that one. And I will arrogantly say that I'm quite proud of that one. Here's another one. This one, for me, I love the shapes. I think it was bold to bend this around like so. This, I'm thinking, is really West Coast. This is, this has had things a lot rougher, but very warm colors in the sky. So, you know, again, I think the shape is interesting. The rocks are good and supportive, and I don't want them to be too interesting in this painting because their role in this composition is to support everything else. Now, these colors seem ridiculous in a way, and that's why I love them. But they're all reds and purples. I think that you know, this focal area is well framed by the tree itself and the distant hills. But I like, you know, I must have been in a heck of a good mood because I actually put in a line of cad red medium right across here, you know, with a bit of yellow ochre and some whites. And yeah, you know, okay, maybe you don't see it in nature, but I love hyperbole when it comes to painting. If I could make paintings like this, have enough nerve or courage to use that, you know, this intensity of color, this high chroma in my work on a more regular basis, I'd be quite happy. Anyway, it's a study. I know that typically when people see that, and it's not just about my studies, it's about many other people's studies in general. Strong design, high chroma, a lot of drama on a small format, and often the viewer will say, what a jewel, what a little jewel. So that's it for the moment. I just wanted to run through these with you. Like I said, I'm going to redistribute some of them, maybe all of them, and maybe I'll just keep a couple. We'll see how it goes. Talk soon.